I was a Navy SEAL for 8 years, and after that I transitioned to becoming a sleep scientist, actually. And across those 16 years, I learned something, that we could do better for our veterans. But also, we need them. We need them to do the things that they do. Their sacrifice is required. We're standing on the edge of a question that could change warfare and humanity as we know it. AI and robots are rapidly advancing. They promise faster decision making, perfect memory, zero hesitation. But what do we lose when we give up human consciousness? Well, I'd like to tell you a story about my humanity. It was midnight, about 50 degrees, 10 miles per hour wind speed. Did my gear checks, helmet, night vision, plates, magazines, oxygen, weapon, radio, and my kit bag with everything I need for the mission. On my back is a parachute. We're doing a halo operation, high altitude, low opening, 30,000-foot sky jump. So we did our JMPI inspections, jump master inspections. You have to do these. I mean, even a twisted strap can kill you at this altitude. We filed in line to go out to the aircraft and remember smelling the jet fuel. Anybody who's skydived remembers that smell. For me, it brings up the emotion of fear. You see, skydiving never got easy for me. It feels like you're going to die every time. Just me personally. But we have a saying in the teams, the only easy day was yesterday. So we got on the aircraft, we get up to altitude, 30,000 feet, and the jump master slides open the door. Now this sound, it always jars me because I know there's no safety net. The light turns yellow, that means 30 seconds. And then, of course, everybody responds, 30 seconds. Light turns green, everybody starts jumping out. All right, now it's my turn. So I stand up in the aircraft, keeping low so I don't hit my head on the top. I've got my flight bag attached to my chest, between my legs, and so I have to sort of waddle over to the door like a penguin. I look out into the dark abyss of nothing. 1, 2, 3, and I launch. But the barrel of my gun hit the top of the door frame on the aircraft. I flipped back on my back, hit the ground, rolled out the side of the aircraft, and I'm plummeting to my death at 130 miles an hour, just like I expected. So what seemed like an eternity was probably only a few seconds, and a whole lot of panic. I was able to sort of stabilize, but my face was towards the sky, my back was towards the ground, and so I took a maneuver to bring in my right arm so that my left arm caught air and flipped me over. Now I'm stabilized. And in that moment, with a lot of adrenaline, eyes razor sharp, I took a breath, and I noticed something in the distance, all the twinkling lights on the ground. It's beautiful. It was euphoric. That's humanity. 0.0008%, I think I need some of the math guys to explain this to me. That's the percentage of Americans that are Navy SEALs. 9 out of 10 of the guys who actually are qualified and get a contract and show up to basic training are going to fail. Those that make it through training, the rigorous BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL School, have to learn how to survive. But survival comes at a cost. Relentless back-to-back operations. And it's not just the missions, it's the tempo. Fast execution, high risk, minimal rest. You have to plan, execute, debrief, and do it over again, sometimes within hours. This wears on you. Body starts to break down. Your judgment is a little slower. Your reaction time is a fraction slower, and a fraction means everything in our line of work. We have another saying, pays to be a winner. It's because there's no second place in war. This is my buddy Ryan Larkin. He was a Navy SEAL, decorated sniper, medic. His dad was a Navy SEAL. Just spoke to him this morning. So on August 23rd, 2017, Ryan Larkin put together his shadow box. We have a thing we call shadow boxes. It's medals and trophies and all this stuff you put in inside there kind of to represent your service. And it really stated something, service and sacrifice. And it sort of echoed, this is what I gave. Ryan set this on his side stand next to his bed, and he walked to the center of the room, and he stepped onto a chair, and he put a noose around his neck. The rope was hanging from the rafters in the basement where he was staying at his dad's house. When his dad came home, he yelled, "Ryan, you home?" There's no answer. That year, 2017, 6,692 veterans committed suicide. We have this thing, 22 veterans. You probably heard of hashtag 22. It's representative of the number of veterans that commit suicide every day. The numbers haven't changed, and it's an epidemic. We have to ask ourselves, why does this keep happening? Why do we send our sons and daughters into harm's way? They come back broken, unable to process invisible wounds. Is there a better way? Ryan suffered from something that we call the operator syndrome. Dr. Chris Free identified it and articulated it. It's basically a unique constellation of injuries that are specific to special operations like traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress, a lot of orthopedic injuries, insomnia, and there's more. Do you see, Ryan didn't fail. He gave everything to a mission that never ended. 165,830, that is the number of troops that were deployed last year in June of 2024. So that's representative of all the really kids we have out there in service around the world. Can we replace some of them with robots? Maybe save some lives? It's a question that we have to ask ourselves. Are we really ready for this? Are we ready for a fully autonomous, combat-ready robot? Well, you know, I hear things like Terminator and Skynet in my circles. I got to tell you, this is not science fiction anymore. This is a chart showing the evolution of AI. So what this means is all these little green dots, those are different models and when they got released, so on this timeline. And basically what this is saying is that each of these models that gets released is kind of like a species of AI or something like that. They're getting exponentially smarter. So think of it like a child, right? Learning to crawl, learning to walk, and then run. Soon, it may fight. Are we ready for this? I'll tell you, in Ukraine right now, the number one modality of warfare is drones. They're sending quadcopters with explosives right over the line. It's really interesting to watch how ingenuitive they are. And those are robots, right? This is another AI image I created. Now this is, it's not real. It's based on a robot that I actually went and hung out with last week in Silicon Valley, a humanoid robot. Now the company's intention is not to do this, but this image I created in AI. How does this make you feel? Let's be fair. Okay, there are some advantages here. So a robot is not going to disobey a lawful order, but a human might. Robot's not going to question the mission, but a human might. And we don't have to send an American flag back home when a robot gets destroyed. But robots don't have a conscience. They don't hesitate to pull the trigger, they just execute. They don't wrestle with morality at 2 a.m. They don't ask themselves, is this the right thing to do? That friction, that moral hesitation, that's not a flaw. That's what makes us human. We're not just killers, we're protectors. We live by a warrior code. Honor, courage, commitment. When we lost Ryan, a piece of me died inside. The depression was suffocating. I spiraled. And I'll tell you, it wasn't AI or a computer or a chatbot that could look into my soul and tell me that I was worth saving. It was people. It's us, humanity, community, vulnerability, acceptance. That's what kept me going. So sure, AI can analyze data, it can simulate emotion, it can even predict outcomes. It can be useful. But it cannot feel, it cannot lead, and it cannot care. So when someone is asking you or discussing, hey, AI is the way of warfare in the future, what I want you to ask them is, what kind of warfare are we going for? And what kind of peace do we hope to return? Because I'll tell you the truth, moral accountability cannot be outsourced. I'll say that one more time. Moral accountability, it can't be outsourced. Humans cannot be taken out of the loop of warfare. A human must be there to decide on a life or death situation. So my vote is for humanity. Thank you.